What's up, friends? I'm Jonathan Miller, and welcome back to Jonathan Miller Music, where we help each other become better artists. TWICE leader JIHYO has finally made her official solo debut with Zone, hitting #1 in over 20 countries on iTunes and reaching the top 20 on iTunes worldwide. Zone also sold over 361,000 copies on its first day, proving that JIHYO can shine just as brightly on her own, as well as a member of one of the most successful girl groups of all time. If you're new to the channel, today we're going through Zone track by track, and I'll be sharing my thoughts on its track list, productions, lyrics, genres, and influences to see how this album breaks down and comes together. So hit the subscribe button if you're new and like this video so I know you enjoy it. Leave a comment telling me what your favorite songs are from Zone, and consider becoming a channel member if you want to help me make more reviews in the future. This album doesn't contain a lot of genre influences, but it's still got some exciting ingredients that make it sparkle. So without further ado, here is my album review of Zone by JIHYO. The album opens with title track Killin Me Good that introduces a lot of the vibes present on the rest of Zone. The song is written by JYP himself, which explains its throwback vibe. JYP loves retro styles, and Killin Me Good is a great modern take on 80s R&B pop. Play this next to songs like Janet Jackson's Nasty or Paula Abdul's Straight Up, and while it will certainly show the age difference, it also won't sound very out of place either. Every songwriter has their own style, and memes aside, JYP does know how to construct a hit. Killin Me Good is a great title track. It's not over the top, it hits all the marks. The thing I love most about it though is that it's in JIHYO's natural range. We know that JIHYO can hit all of the ear butter high notes and belt like no other, but where she really shines is in her gorgeous alto register. Her emotions come through clearer, the productions feel more balanced, it doesn't sound like she's straining. Not that it really ever does. JIHYO has all the attitude that you could want, and I just love that her natural register is highlighted so well on this record. Visually, the music video is wonderful. Zone as a whole is a bit darker in vibe in comparison to Nayeon's debut EP, but it's not a depressing kind of dark, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But I like that the music video kind of demonstrates that. We've got awesome choreography, she's come to slay the house down, and it's great. A wonderful debut that ticks all the boxes for me. Similar to Nayeon's No Problem with Felix, JIHYO enlists the help of American rapper and singer 24kGoldn in this all-English track. I was particularly surprised to hear this, but it's a great song and collab. Again, I love JIHYO in the style, especially when more harmonies kick in during the build-up. The lyrics are a vibe, and when 24kGoldn and JIHYO sing together, it just creates magic. I said this in my Killin Me Good reaction video, but JIHYO's English should get more kudos. No, I will not be making fun of her accent or her pronouncing Zone as something like Jon. The Z sound is really hard for native Korean speakers to pronounce, and you know what she's talking about, so we don't need to make fun of her. That whole thing actually reminds me of my Korean teacher telling the class a story about how when she first came here, no one understood that she wanted to go to the zoo because unknowingly she was pronouncing it as Jew. She could laugh about it now, of course, but for me, I remember when she told us that story that it was just another reason to not make fun of people who can't speak English. This language is difficult. I would never want to learn it as a second language. So anyone that does or tries to gets instant points from me. I mean, really, if anyone had actually helped my professor all those years ago, rather than just laugh at her or leave her feeling confused, she might have been able to go to the zoo a lot earlier. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox, but I just think JIHYO did a really good job. And you can do a great job too with DistroKid. DistroKid is one of the top music distributors on the market, helping indie artists like you and me get our music up on streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and Tidal. For one small yearly price, you can distribute as much music as you'd like without breaking the bank. Depending on which plan you choose, you'll also gain access to DistroKid's very large library of additional helpful goodies to help you grow, manage, and promote your latest music drop. One such amazing tool is Visi Video Generator. Visi Video Generator uses your song to create reactive visualizations that are easy to put together. They're eye-catching and keep your fans' attention. You can choose from a whole wide array of presets that best match your artistic aesthetic. You can choose which song you want to use, even if it's a brand new one. You can choose from different aspect ratios so your videos are ready to show on any platform. You can also add your album artwork. These are super useful if you want a cheap, high quality way of promoting your track. So use my special VIP link to save yourself 7% on your first year's membership with DistroKid. Link is in the description. Continuing the sleek R&B vibes of the record, Closer offers a nice little touch of rhythmic excellence. It has a slight Latin influence, but it's not so overpowering that it feels out of left field or maybe gives off the wrong impression. Frankly speaking, this song is hot. JIHYO's vocals are the main focus of Zone from start to finish. This song is a bit more adult contemporary rather than being filled with youthful spirit or trying to do too many different things. Closer is a good example of the more mature themes on this album. It's not too kid-friendly, but it's not too adult either. It's just right. She nailed this one. Wishin On You is another sultry R&B pop song with breathy vocals. This is a great transition from the previous track. It's got a great beat, and that chorus highlights JIHYO's bright vocals and harmonies. I also like that starting with Closer and Wishin On You, the rest of the album is nearly entirely written by her. As a songwriter and a listener, I really enjoy getting to hear more of her thoughts, her opinions, her vibes. And on this song and Zone as a whole, she made a conscious effort not to oversell anything. Because like I said, we know she can hit all the pop marks, but Wishin On You is JIHYO sort of stretching her R&B wings a little bit. The pad stabs at the end are a nice touch. I don't have any complaints. Don't Want to Go Back is a nice lighter touch on the album. Again, vocals and melody drive the song's progression. The instrumentation is airy, there's a lot of space in the production. Again, great beat in the chorus. Heize is a talented vocalist, writer, and producer, and she is the perfect fit for this track. It offers some 90s R&B nostalgia, but again, feels very modern. It doesn't go out of its way to be nostalgic. The acoustic guitar that dots the song is just a nice little dose of lightness. I love how Heize and JIHYO blend. I mean, if I had any complaints about Zone, it would be that I wish there were more of these types of songs because both of them, but especially JIHYO, kills it in this style. I wouldn't place this song anywhere else on the track list. It's a good moment to give the middle of the record some life. There is no other place I would put Room except as track 6. Room already has a funky beat, and if Nightmare didn't exist, I would imagine that this would serve as the album closer. It's upbeat, but it's very relaxed. I think it'd be a great track to study to. I love how chill it is. The Not Coming Back is a nice little outro that switches things up just before the end of the song. I don't have much more to say, it's just a really nice song. I have been eager to hear Nightmare recorded ever since I got to see JIHYO perform it live in Seattle. It was a great performance, and now hearing the recorded version, I love it even more. It 100% belongs at the end of the record because it's just a little bit different from the rest of the album, but also doesn't feel out of place either. It doesn't feel like they just tacked it on. It's dark, it's got a little bit of that rock influence. JIHYO's writing in general just kind of has a nice dark edge to it, and for me, that sets her apart from the other TWICE members, at least the ones that we've heard solo songs from. Nightmare still falls under the R&B genre, but it's genuinely dark as opposed to just sultry dark. I like that Zone doesn't have a traditional ballad at the end of the album. It's refreshing, and it ends on this cool, like, shadow vibe. I don't know how else to describe it. It's got this explosive chorus and then this beautiful bridge. It's just a fantastic song, and I better see it on everyone's Halloween playlist as we inch ever closer to fall. Zone nestles itself in a tight little box of genres and influences, but it's not without its surprises either. While it might not contain 100 different sounds as opposed to some other K-pop albums, it doesn't really need to because genre range isn't the focus. So here's how I'd break this down. I'd put its umbrella genre as K-pop because it's the easiest label to slap on it, but of course we can get deeper. I'd put its subgenre as R&B, unsurprisingly. Like I said, Zone plants itself firmly in the R&B genre and sets up shop. R&B is one of the many genres of music created by Black people and is frequently incorporated into other genres of music. It can be seen as a more geared toward adults genre as well, and offers layers of sophistication, which is what Zone really emphasizes. I'd say its niche is adult contemporary. I almost went with something like hip-hop soul, but there's just not enough hip-hop on this album to warrant the label, and it's also far more commercial in nature. This album is not designed for a younger audience, though it certainly can be enjoyed by one. While not as ballad-heavy as adult contemporary typically incorporates, Zone is not 100% a pop record either. It's more refined and, as I said before, sophisticated. I'd put its micro niche as dark pop though. This album still takes top 40 elements of pop music, but keeps the overall tone smooth, almost like you'd want to listen to it with the lights down on a Friday night, giving us a K-pop album with influences of Latin R&B, hip-hop, and pop, utilizing predominantly R&B productions and stylings in conjunction with dark pop hooks and instrumentations designed for an adult contemporary audience to highlight its vocals and dynamic lyrics. If you're a fan of Janet Jackson, Ariana Grande, Mary J. Blige, and TWICE of course, this album is for you. I really love JIHYO in this genre and how this album balances lighter moments with darker moods. It's a great album from start to finish that I don't really have a whole lot of complaints with. It's a very solid R&B pop record that's heavier on the R&B side. So if vocals and vibe are what you look for in new music, get in the zone with JIHYO.